from Hubert Humphrey, Steve Groves, Aki Rupani. You can't get that anywhere else, right? Raghu, Prashant, all these great leaders that are there and they pour their hearts out for their teams. I've seen them over the last 10 years. So what we want to do in the technology side is match that leadership to help you really excel. Now, obviously, we have been um, not tinkering. I don't think that's the right word. We've deployed a few technologies, but like I always say, sometimes technology is a little bit ahead of its time. And in this business, sometimes technology, the intention is that it would become a force multiplier. And in many cases, depending on your level of understanding in technology, it could actually be counterproductive as you have to learn this. It's like it becomes overwhelming to learn not just the financial products, but also the technology. Those that do understand it do leverage it in ways, but other people actually slows them down. So how can we enable everybody and to use technology, but to help everybody really scale up, like to massively produce? So with that preamble, I'm going to jump into what you are seeing here and which is the order in which I would recommend that you go through and learn. And then I will tell you which tools are fully ready and which tools are not. So you're not surprised, like, oh, this doesn't work or this and that. That way you'll know, and you can, as you will show your team members some of these tech, you would know like what is fully ready and what is in the works. But the speed that we're going, I think we're going to be, fully ready on all these seven cylinders very soon. So here we go. When you go to the HCI universe, I actually add a little pause button right here, which you can pause the rotation just in case it makes you dizzy. And I need help from somebody because if I have to log in people in, let me see if I can pick on Sarabel. Are you able to be a co-host so you can let people in real quick? If you don't mind, if you don't
Mauricio,
have.
if you need, I can support.
Thank you, sir. I'll make you there.
Priyanka, yeah.
Co-host. Appreciate that. Make co-host. All right, there you go. So you are now enabled to let people in. So what I'm showing here is that there is a number. Before you just had like these satellites gravitating around the Aristotle, the HCI opportunity, right? Which is the 50-year track record and your home office. But what you need when you recruit somebody, right, is a way, an ally that can help you train your people very well. And so we created what's called the Hegemon Academy. It's what you have known as leader mastery, but this is really going to take us to where we can because it's now fully infused with AI to create personalized experiences with people. There's a few pieces of technology that we're about to deploy today which includes full video experience on all of this journey. And so what it is designed to do, you'll see all the videos here. The placeholder will just have to feed it in. You have audio, you have video, and you have the how to get started, right? And what you know as the fast start guide. That's exactly here. It's what we attempted to do with Leader Mastery, but didn't really fully created the personalized experience as you will see here. So when you go through these modules, you're basically going to be completing your task. As you can see, like when somebody is recruited, they're able to see like what is the thing you want to accomplish on day one is learning about the mission and vision, the story of HDI, where we come from, where we're going, understanding the business model, what makes us unique and different, what in the like not a completely in-depth sort of understanding of every product. This is for brand new people, but they should know that we help people with life insurance, annuities, debt, investments. We have all these different opportunities that allow us to help people and do the assessments. They have to do some assessments for this to be completed. And then what you do in the first 10 days, which is you build your target market list, complete your business plan, FNA, do a financial needs analysis. So this helps you and helps them understand that they need to do that internal consumption within the first 10 days to be sort of a product of the product, right? Bring in three people to the BOP and understand the 3-3-30 mechanism, and so on and so forth. What to do the first 30 days is get your three recruits, right? So it's three people, three recruit, three sales, your 3-3-30. It's all feed in and it basically uh, people are participating. You can see their activities, and obviously leaderboards is all going to be awesome to see who is accumulating the points to make sure they understand the entire process of the get started. It does not replace you in any way, shape, or form. It emboldens you to make sure you leave absolutely nobody behind. If you want to have a Spanish one, you can move to Spanish. All the videos, all the text, all the exams, all everything obviously moves to into the language that you prefer. I did see somebody raise their hand, so if you go open up your mic, and we're here for a dialogue, not a monologue.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Quick question on the sign up. So if I'm on my Aristotle, and how do I go here?
So right now you have this. We're going to go to a process, okay? And I want you guys to come with me in this journey. So right now, there's two things you're going to do. When you go to this is how I think it's going to end up being. Right now, if you want to test these things individually, as we speak right now, you have to individually create your accounts. Okay, you can use the same one for all if you want. Maybe by next week, as you join the platform, you use one username, one password. So when you register, one registration gives you access to all of them. And eventually, within a month or so, when a new agent becomes an HGI, they automatically have access to it from Aristotle.
Perfect.
Make sense?
Yeah.
But just if you wanna sort of start playing with it, go there, it's fine. And this is obviously because we sort of have to go through security vetting and those type of things. Um, and so I hope that answered the question a little bit on how the journey is going to be.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And yeah, feel free to, raise your hand if we go. Vinette, what's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah. So if I create an account on one of these system now, will
Yeah.
it cause a problem a month later?
We're going to what you can what my recommendation, we'll have to create a little script, right? As we do that. I don't think so. I mean, I can't certainly guarantee that it won't, but it's something we can deal with right away, to because we can help you just create a
Sure.
second account. And
So
I will have to talk with the team to see how we can create that process for those of you that have maybe a little button where it unifies things. And I can tell you with certainty that you will be able to migrate into the new space once we actually get it connected to Aristotle, or you do a one registration. um, I wouldn't let that slow me down from being able to utilize and participate in using these tools.
is there any cost for this or it's free for everyone?
No, so let me explain. So this is zero cost, right? This is for free forever. There's no cost on the Hegemon Academy. There is an AI that is Hubert. It's like a Hubert mentor, and the AI has tokens. So maybe at one point, because we're not in the business of monetizing through technology, rather through the insurance product. So you right now it's for free, um, and we'll see maybe in the very future if it gets to a lot of tokens to create that personalized experience, but it would be like extremely reasonable, and we're only during that process time of somebody coming through, or maybe just for RMDs and above, which you can see your downline. But right now, as we speak right now, and the intention is to make it completely no cost to you. This is again a tool that I want you as a leader to go and test and understand how this will be your companion in training your people on how the system works. The other piece is license quests. And I believe that if we can get our people licensed in 3 days or 5 days instead of months, then that's going to be a massive achievement. And so if you, I have my daughter, right? She uses Duolingo to learn Spanish, and it's very addictive in a good way, right? Because she's engaged, she's having fun, she's answering the sort of the interaction with the app. So none of the course or licensing providers have solved for helping people get licensed in 3 days. Most people, about 30% of the people that join the industry, uh, I would say 70% never actually get licensed, right? And that's because the way that these things are is you buy the course and they give you a bunch of material for you to study, but there's not the science behind being able to interact with the technology or with a technology that can truly help you train for the exam. Not the typical study all this material for a week or two, remember, memorize, and then go do some exams, which is what they're doing. You still buy your course with ExamFX or Excel, but you train with license quests. And it has so much science behind it. It's like a Duolingo, but for financial to get your securities license if you want, but mainly your life and health should be able to have it be ready to be in about 5 to 7 to 10 days. And that what that will do is retain more people, increase your cash flow by orders of magnitude, I believe, because it's like a snowball effect. The faster people get licensed, the faster you're going to produce, the faster commission and retention. So persistency, retention, everything increases significantly by helping people get licensed immediately. Now you can try this for free. This one does have a cost. It's a one-time deal. So you still pay your license, right? But you can try 10 lessons to see, hey, listen, if you like it, if you feel like this is really advancing you at the speed of light and you're going to save weeks, if not months, and you're going to pass your exam, is it worth one time $29? Absolutely. Right. And so we're just trying to cover the tokens and the AI is in it to create a personalized experience. So if you want to do your life and securities, that's 39. If you want to do your 65. Now, most will probably just do life and health, and that's fine. Okay. Any questions on that? Darius.
How
Hey,
how you get
Mauricio.
this exam site?
I'm sorry?
How you will get the exam site from here? Where you go?
Yeah, to get access to this, is you go to the HCI universe, just go to license quests. All right. And then what it's going to do is you can actually download it's an app on your mobile device. Now here's why it's so unique. And this is going to explode your team, is your team will get licensed at much faster rate than any other company in the industry. The reason is there isn't anything you can Google find that has been built with that sort of Duolingo mentality and technology for financial professionals getting licensed. And so because of the way the interaction, like the phone now will become sort of your teacher and it will prompt and interact with you in all of the free times, but it's not like just read through, you want to, sleep after 30 minutes. Not everybody. Some people do enjoy sort of learning all that. Most people, the numbers are there. And I'm not mistaken. I think about 70% of people that join the industry actually never get licensed. And they sort of lose interest because they see that like, there's sort of a hurdle that they have to go through. You sell them a dream and then they have to get into this study nightmare, go past the exam, fail. Some people maybe fail 1, 2, or 3 times. And they kind of move on to the next thing. So if you want to be able to not only sell them the dream, right, but they are now have the technology for themselves to get licensed in just a few days, have an amazing time doing it because of the way that this thing is built. That is going to skyrocket your speed of recruiting, retention, because you can even use it as a recruiting tool. So it's a recruiting tool. It is a tool that licenses everybody better. And when everybody gets licensed at record speed, that means more everything, more FNAs, more products, more retention, higher persistency. And it's like a snowball effect because it benefits not just you, your base shop, your RMDs, their RMDs, and their future generations. So I think that is a phenomenal thing. Your feedback that we'll get from you, because there's always room for improvements for sure. But if you want to try it out, you could try it out for free, obviously. If you're licensed, I'm going to go through the whole thing because you're already licensed, but at least know that your people can either go the traditional route, which is I'll say it, at least it was for me. Maybe for some people it's not, I don't speak for everybody, but for me, I just, I don't, I didn't do what 25 years ago when I took my license. I have to say I have to take the exam twice, but I didn't really like the whole concept. I didn't have sort of a quest mentor. In that whole process, you have a quest mentor you can ask and interact. In addition to the way that it was built to engage with you to learn the concept in layman's terms, and then get you ready for the exam. It'll tell you you're ready to. And it's like once you go through the process, it'll say you are now ready to take your life exam. If you want to continue on to get your life and health, you can continue to get your life and health. And if you want to go all the way to get your 65, you can go all the way to get your 65. But just your life and health will give you access to freedoms that I couldn't even imagine possible before, even without the 65. Um, so so just, I mean, we probably won't have enough time to go through all of it, but just know it's just so reasonable that anybody, they're not going to break the bank as a one-time 29 to condense time to pass the test and do it in a fun way. It's an app. You can install it here on your mobile device and it will interact with you on your mobile device. You don't need to be in a computer all the time to do it. So if you're on a train, if you're on a bus, well, I don't know, if you are in the gym, and you are resting 2 3 minutes per set, if you are, whatever place you are and you have some free time, just dog in there and sort of get it done. I got Jody here who's calling, and but let me pause the recording real quick, and then I'll come with you guys. Hold on. Hey Jody. Okay, I'll call you right back, bro. I'm at the house. You want me at the office? Okay. Thank you, bro. Hello. Okay, so let's resume.
So Mauricio, I
Um,
had a quick question for
yes.
License Quest. When I registered, I wanted to see what the starter package looked like, so I registered an account, but it only brought me to the home page. Would I need to download or install the app? I did it over my phone in order to see those lessons
Yeah,
and that
download the
package.
app, and there's one additional what's it called, update that we got to do here at about, when we're done with the call. And you should be able to download the app on the device so you can interact with it. But I would
Okay,
say
thank you.
expect real functionality by Friday. But I'm just making you aware. I want you to know what we have here and how this is going to impact your business by helping people get licensed at record speed. Like I see the engine behind it. I know what it does, and it's going to be phenomenal. And the order, like I see Jody really mastering the art of recruiting with technology. Brian Adams of Integrity, they recruit with technology, right? And so this is not none of this competes with that. This is just emboldened. They're building an amazing tool that you could leverage. We're building sort of operating systems for us in our business model because HCI's business model is also very unique, right? Like we are not the just the producing sort of agent. So we actually build agencies and we build people and we are in the override type of business. It's going to be hard to get to a $10 million annual income like Aki just by writing business with your own pen. So how can we do that? Well, that would be by enabling people to have a 24/7 digital companion. It helps you, it helps them, helping them get licensed at record time, and then have AdFlux and Weblit. Now, AdFlux and Weblit are designed, many of you will never use them, and some of you will. And so, what it's designed to do is to run ads, create advertisements for events you may have or you may want to have. Hold on a second. I got out. I clicked on some buttons by accident. So yeah, the AdFlux, basically what it's designed to do, it creates all of your ads. If you want to do any sort of advertisement campaigns, like I would like to have an IRA workshop for doctors on strategies to minimize taxes in retirement. When you log into this, it will do those for you. It will produce your videos, your copy, your ads so that you can actually promote it. And you could promote it on all social media platforms. The challenge before was obviously the that you had to produce everything, right? And you don't have to do that anymore. It is in Spanish and in English, not just the website, but the actual engine inside of it. And the other tool is Weblit. So many of you know zybrzeus. As a matter of fact, the training today is for zybrzeus. And one of the things that, I think I should share the story with you. I had one of my top leaders in Mexico. When I went to build HCI in Mexico in 2014, 2015, I met this gentleman, Francisco Chavez. And let me share this with you here real quick. So let me go to zybrzeus. Because zybrzeus will be here for the next year. You can continue to use it as it is, as no cost really. I mean, it has a paid version of it, but most people can get by with the free version of it. And what it is that I think I did it on this account. I think I did it on this account. Let me see if I can find it. I had this conversation um, with this recruit, not with this leader in Mexico. I think it was in the admin account. But anyways, what I did is that I showed him how the tool could help produce these pages for any event that they may have. Now you've seen this many times, right? Now this is pretty cool because you build them with just a simple prompt and it produces whatever type of page you want, right? So this will continue to be available in the way that you know it. But in order to really embrace the power of artificial intelligence, we needed to evolve. And that evolution comes in the name of Weblet. So you can, like I said before, you can use zybrzeus, but know that Weblet is there for you to do what zybrzeus does, but at orders of magnitude more professional, faster, and more automated, that you don't actually even need to build. Like if you build your landing pages, you don't have to build your autoresponders separately and then link them. It will do it automatically for you. Like if you say, I would like to have an IRA workshop at the College of DuPage on February 14th, and just give it a base prompt. It's going to do that, but it's also going to create all of the autoresponders, reminders, and confirmations for you and deploy them automatically. So this is about to get way easier, and I'm talking way easier. And I think there's a few people here that can speak to how they've been using the zybrzeus platform. And if you find this was just a little taste of what AI could do with our existing builder, right? And there may be some new people here today, and therefore I like to hear from, let's say, Sarabel. You know, you guys have been using the zybrzeus to automate a lot of these events, and I know you have more than one, and you just keep doing it. Like seems like you found a a runway to continue to do this. I want you to share with us some of the experiences and what you have done just in the last 30 or 60 days by leveraging the power of creating a campaign just with the power of a prompt. Are you there, Sarah? I don't know if you're there or not. If you even want to, share your experience with us on it. Maybe she's not really there. She's onto something. So let's go to Asif. Asif Kabani, tell me what's on your mind.
Hey Mauricio, I had a so how so what is this weblet? So I'm confused. So like, is it zybrzeus or like?
Yeah, no need to be confused. There's no need to be confused. Here's what I mean. So right now, if you want to build a website or a landing page, anything you want to build, right? You can use zybrzeus to build it. Like I have so many different examples here of pages that I built just with a single prompt that look amazing, but basic at the same time, right? But they're effective. And so that little that little stroke of AI inside the zybrzeus was just a sort of a taste for what is available actually. It's called Weblet. So Weblet does what zybrzeus does, and so it's going to be the house where you can migrate over time eventually as zybrzeus phases out over the next year.
Got you. Okay, okay, makes
Does
sense.
that make sense? Hopefully that made more sense. Yeah.
Right. So eventually
So
it's gonna be weblit, but we can start off with zybrzeus right now.
correct. Yes. Yes. But I
Got
want
you.
you to know what you have because now this is going to automate everything now. Like the whole thing on a single prompt is now going to the pages are going to look like $1 trillion,
That's
right?
amazing. Yeah.
It's going to create all your automations without you even having to tell it. Like it'll know. You can, and you have full control of it, obviously, but it just does everything. It'll And even this one, in addition to AdFlux, you can actually deploy quick sort of campaigns or ads right from here. If you want like a full stack of ads, you can use AdFlux. But this one also comes with social media campaigns, quiz funnels, regular pages. It will do all your nurturing, all your CRM and pipeline, all your conversion. It's amazing what you will be able to find inside of it. Um, and the gazillions of dollars that you're going to save. So just know of it. Go create an account. It's fine. You can play with it now and report back if you find a bug here or whatever. It's fine. I will just tell you that between now and Monday, as this was actually, because there's a production, and then there's a deployment, there's a development and deployment, and then a lot of testing happens, but it's not until you actually launch the thing fully and have full users that you come across a few things that you need to just tighten up for full stability. But I don't think that it will take us even a week to really achieve it to where you can actually use it full blown. So when you are talking to a new recruit and you say, look, well, we have a digital train, we get you licensed in just 7 days instead of 3 months. You can produce ads and have all your campaigns ready to go. Um, that's fine. Now, these two, I want to release a piece of information for you today that we are testing with. And I think because of what happened with new technology, you can now put a brain on brains, meaning that the application world is now going to move where other applications manage the applications. So what we created is something called SafeClaw, and many of you have probably heard about OpenClaw because it's all over the place and blah blah blah. How do you safely install it? How do you understand how to do this the right way? So we are going to we're going to test this, make sure that you can give your OpenClaw through SafeClaw the training so that the tools that we have here can do what you need without you having to learn to use the tool. They just give you the outcome. Like if you say, I'd like to have a seminar for doctors, then your OpenClaw is going to do that for you to create all of that. So that way, the learning of the technology doesn't get in the way of you building the business, building the relationships. You basically produce what you want. And now there's a lot of different, places where people are going to download, but it's not, they're not doing it where it's so extremely tight and safe. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. You'll be able to do this on your machine, but we'll do it in such a way that it'll be so safe that you can deploy it if you want. If you don't want to go in that direction, just learn how to use these tools and you can deploy at any time. So we're going to put a little brain here for those people that will say, well, I'm not tech savvy, and if I have tools, could I have a major brain that can just do that for me? Because I don't even want to learn how to prompt it from here. I mean, I don't even want to log into the weblet. Just give me the funnel, send it to me, and I'm ready to publish it. So in fact, publish it for me if you can. So that's sort of where things are going. And we started to create the safe route for you to be able to deploy that as well. Obviously, Abacus is on fire. We have over 1,500 FNAs that were made and millions. I think now it's like over $500 million worth of assets are sort of being, if you take digitally and sort of manage like where it should go, like there's a lot of activity. And I'm going to dive into this one right now a little bit deeper because there is something here that people are using a lot and they found an amazing use of it. And maybe you too can find the use of it for recruiting purposes. As a matter of fact, people, there was a gentleman that just had 9 recruits this last, I think it was like, I think it was last month, not last week, but I think it was last month, 9 recruits, very young guy, 19, 20 years old. And he said, this is the tool that I use, and it helped me recruit every single person when I went through this income possibility in the way that it is inside of the Abacus platform. So I'm going to go through that. Let me go through that, and then I'm going to go answer all the questions. So inside the Abacus platform, this is for production, right? This is where you now actually are able to collect your financial needs analysis from a client, and you're able to make all these recommendations. But there is a calculator here that people use for recruiting only, and it's called the HDI Income Possibility Calculator. There's two stages actually. People use the lifetime income calculator to determine how much is your lifestyle. Like if you want to live on a $2 million house, and if you want to drive a Range Rover, you need to make at least 590 in today's day and age gross income in order to qualify for a $2 million house, because your debt to income ratio needs to be just below 30, right? And if you want to drive the Range Rover, a brand new one, that between those payments, right? The payment of a $2 million house, just if you think about putting it, 20% down, this is sort of your income to qualify for those type of payments. So it creates, where do you want to educate your children? You want to do some private school? And so you can go on and on and on. And then so that has a price tag of, let's say, $600,000 a year for that sort of lifestyle. And we didn't even get into a bunch of other stuff. So when you produce the, let's just say the vision board, this vision board is intended to live on your recruit's mobile device, to live on his computer, and to have a printout so they can have next to their certificates at their office, something they can see all the time because they visualize a certain lifestyle, and that lifestyle has a price tag of $600,000, right? So how can HDI help them achieve $600,000 of income? And that's how they're using it. They're having this conversation as part of the onboarding, if at least what people are sharing. And then some people are going back to some other people that are not as active, and they're saying, let's go and let's run this scenario. And I think what the reason this is, you want to have at least 6 or 7 or 8 different pieces, not just 3. So typically try to go for like most of the things that people like, having children, are you traveling, so that you can get the best sort of vision board. But you have the desktop option, you have the iPhone option, you have the Android option, and you have the printable option, so that you can look at what it costs to do that. And so this is a great segue for the HDI Income Possibility Calculator, because this one gives you different ways of showing that. Like if you say, well, if you are recruiting me, let's say I'm the recruit and my upline is Jody. And I know we've probably seen this last week, but I want you to see a new angle to this. Everybody is an RMD until proven different. And so I expect that you could be an RMD within the first year. And if you're an R&D within the first year, we can get to that. How would your production need to be in order for you to be able to have that $600,000 worth of income? And so I say, well, if you expect to make some personal productions, because if you're recruiting people, you'll probably have a base shop and you'll be field training some of these people. So let's just say you do 2 sales a month, IUL at a minimum, and maybe 1 out of every 2 people you find have old 401k and portion of the IRA they can move into an annuity or whatever. You're doing 10 grand a month by doing 3 transactions on a monthly basis. But you are recruiting. And if you are thinking about building an agency that you eventually would want to sell, or, build a real business, you're probably recruiting 3 to 5 people a month, right? That's your base shop. And then maybe those guys are doing on average, if you're doing 1 to 2 sales on average, and maybe 1 annuity, right? Maybe you could do 1 and 1. And so that now gets us at $26,000 a month, but we actually need more, right? Because we needed 600,000. So now a lot of these people could become an RMD. So let's just say that in the first year, you can actually build 3 RMDs, and each RMD has at least 5 people producing. I mean, you can have more bodies, but I'm talking about producing agents. You have 3 RMDs, serious leaders, building teams, and each one of these solid RMDs have at least 5 producing agents that are doing no crazy numbers. They're doing 2 life and 1 annuity a month. So that's your $56,000. That is about 600. That's about where you want to be. So you can get there. This is how your team needs to look in terms of production, right? Your entire organization would need to do 30 life sales and 50 annuities for you to have $600,000, mainly in overrides. Now, if you want to just, have no personal production, right? Then that's different. That's over here at 554. So we'll need to maybe focus more on leadership development and maybe focus more on generating RMD. So if we have, let's say we have five RMDs, we focus on RMDs that have five each, then that takes me back to my $66,000. That is my close to 800,000. And so the beautiful thing about this system is that you can produce the PDF to hand to that person, to that recruit. And so when you have clarity on how to get there, it is more likely for them to execute on the things they want. First, they have a clear picture of what amount of production they actually need. And what is the hierarchy? You're basically saying you are doing five recruits per month. You can do that. This is not like a one time. You're doing five recruits a month in your base shop, right? And they're averaging about two sales. If you do your 330, you're probably going to hit this number. And then you are building over the next 12 months, you're having five RMDs, right? And you're doing a 15% override, generational override on those RMDs. That's your $66,000 a month. So you have total team is actually 31 producing agents that can get you to $600,000. Right? Now here's more detail. You can take the time to do this your own, kind of go through the details. You do have a warning, the income disclosure and disclaimer that I think is important for them to sign. There's no guarantee. I'm not saying that I'm going to pay you $600,000. This is a system that you can go and build, but it depends on the effort you put and how closely you can follow a system. This is nice because it tells you collectively as a team to get there. It's not like you have to make 9,000 calls. You don't have to make 9,000 calls. Your entire 31 agents collectively will have to make about 9,000 contacts to set up 2,000 appointments, to have 1,400 show up, to recruit 30%, to license 20, and to have end up with 35 actually producing agents from that. But that'll get you to that. And then obviously you can go the solo way or you can do the team leveraging. You can leverage the team through the power of 3-3-30, which is three recruits, three sales in 30 days type of mentality. And this is pretty much how it works. You have the sort of the MLM advantage, which is you recruit a new person or you recruit five people. Each one of these people can easily build a list of 100 people, do a top 25, work those with them, and then repeat. So if you do that, this is the amount of contacts that you bring in as you recruit five people over time. So that should give you more than enough leads. You may not even need web lead, or if you do it really tight to the system. But it kind of gives you that the solo approach where you're doing all the 9,000 calls versus the team doing it, and that's a whole different ball game as you're doing it this way, right? So it kind of gives you that pathway and what are the skills that you need to do. So this would be, it's almost like doing a financial needs analysis, but more like an income needs analysis, right? Like how are you going to get there? You need to make 600,000. How can you realistically get there? This is not, obviously it's not intended to replace the fast start guide, but it is a conversation that has more numbers into it, scientifically proven, that will get you to what you need, including obviously the activities, like a day-to-day type of activity, and the what you call the, yeah, so like what you do and the skills that you actually have to acquire within that time frame. So again, people are using it. Sometimes they just having this visual, not even producing the PDF. It opens up the mind. I would produce a PDF, learn how to interpret it, and then that person will have that and say, this is actually possible because the numbers are there. This is what I need to do. Some people were looking at, well, there's different ways to get there, and we created the cash flow models. And cash flow models is different. It basically says, well, if I have to earn 600,000, if I had to do it personal production as an RMD, I would need to do 9 IULs and 5 FIAs. That's 14 sales a month to make $50,000 a month. Right now, is it possible? Yeah, could be with good marketing because you're in personal production. But if you wanted to do it just with the base shop, then you'd have to have, about 16 recruits that would be doing about 2 sales. Here's the average override per recruit: 1,800 on lives and 1,500 per recruit for every 16 of them. To be able to achieve that, and what is the statistical sort of contacts that the whole team would have to do. We'll see, but this income models are uh, good things for you to be able to sort of paint the picture. What if you want to build 50,000 just with RMDs? You know, obviously, I know Aki continues to build a base shop, but his biggest thing is more RMDs, and he's in the RMD factory, not necessarily in personal production or even base shop that much. So, can you build a massive business by having RMDs where you're not in the equation as a personal producer that have a building, have a business you can actually sell? So this is a good way of showing how you can make $50,000 with six RMDs only. That's 30,000, that's 30 agents collectively that you can get there, right? Um, and so this is the income models that give you a mix of how you can do that if you need it. Equity model is if you want to, build certain revenue to achieve a certain EBITDA, a certain revenue. Like if you want to sell for a multiple of 8 to 10, a multiple of 8 or multiple to 10, what your business needs to look like to have a, I don't know, $5 million exit or $10 million exit. If you're doing a million in EBITDA, 5 million in revenue based on 300 agents that we're building, that producing agents. If you build a business, and so you have some numbers here if you really want to do a geeky dive in into how to actually have an exit. And the $1 to $1 million journey, the $1 to $1 million journey is realistically following the system, the compensation. How can you go from training associate to MD to RMD to CFC, and by just following the compensation system, what is your annual income? Every as you achieve those goals, as you get to SCFC, where your next level is $1 million, right? CEO MD. Um, and that's obviously 10 RMD legs, as the system said. You have 10 RMDs um, that can earn you that $1 million. Now, I think earn $1 million to be able to, if you're earning $1 million and you can have a $10 million exit, or at least an EBITDA, because that's pretty cool. You could do that. So again, this is sort of a way to materialize the compensation system. You don't need to get that deep. Sometimes just showing somebody brand new, hey, this is you, your base shop, and your RMDs. Bam, how we can get to that lifestyle you want. Okay, but I did wanted to kind of dive into that piece of it. Um, and obviously, the other thing that people were requesting to have inside of the tool is a simple way to get people started. If they don't want to do a full financial needs analysis, can they do just a retirement and protection gap? Meaning that you have a very basic financial sort of presentation with the new recruit or the client, and you say, Mr. Client, I'm going to do it very quickly because many of you have not seen this. This is the simplest F&A. Mr. Mauricio, you are married. My spouse name is Lorena, right? We have three things that will happen in our lives, and three things that there's no way out of it. One is we will do our best to improve our lifestyle today, and after working 30 or 40 years, we want to maintain that lifestyle in retirement. And so there's tooltips on all these things, by the way. So, if you were to retire today, Mauricio, how much money would you need to maintain your current lifestyle? Well, I would need about $12,000 in today's day and age, right? Now, that is, it says here, monthly income needed in retire if you were to retire today. But you can override it. But when you retire, you may not own a home, or not own a home, but owe a home. You may have your mortgage paid off, and maybe you have a new car. I don't know what percentage, and you retire, what payments would you probably not have? But just keep in mind that you will have a lot more free time Saturday, and maybe a car payment or a home mortgage is no longer there, but maybe you'll be investing more in keeping your health. So it's not necessarily that you're going to go that much lower, you know. But if we had to put a smaller amount when you retire, what would that be? And say, well, I think I can probably make it with $9,000, adjusted to inflation, obviously. And you are how old right now? Well, I'm 47. And when would you like to live off of your assets? I mean, retirement. I asked that question, like, when would you like to live off of your assets? Because people think deeper in that way than when you tell them, when you want to retire. They want to retire tomorrow. So they give you these crazy answers that are not even realistic. So I ask, when would you like to live off of the assets and not have to work? We call this retirement. Oh my, wow. Made 67, right? And collectively, between you and Lorena, how much money would you say you have for that, earmarked for that purpose of retirement? Well, I think together with IRAs, all that, we got about 1,500 bucks, 150,000, right? And how much are you, like, if you are saving just for that purpose, like in 401ks, IRAs collectively, how much money are you putting away for that? Well, about $1,000 a month. So we're going to assume here we have an inflation that we can work with, and also the growth rate that we're using is 7%, just to keep it nothing crazy, not extremely conservative, not extremely crazy. I think 7% over that period of time, it's, at least to work on our hypothetical. And we are assuming that Social Security is going to be at least around. So what is happening is that if you need $9,000 today, if you were like, if it's $9,000 you have to plan for, it's $16,000. Like if you were gonna need the same amount of money, let's say 12,000, right? Then you would actually need $22,000 when you retire to buy the same lifestyle you have today with 12,000. But if you're saying that you actually only gonna need the equivalent of $8,000 today in retirement, that's more like 15,000 actually, right? I think I did 9,000 or 10,000, something like that. So you get the idea is that you get that amount. And so in order for you to be able to draw $16,000 per month for 30 years, you're going to need a nest egg of 3.5 million. And you're only projected to have 1.1 because you have 150 and you put in $1,000 a month. So you have a gap of 2.4 million. Actually, you need to save 4,000. And we'll talk a little bit later about how we can actually close this gap and help you close this gap. But how much could you save more right now? You're saving $1,000 a month. How much more could you put towards retirement if we know we've got this gap? I'm not asking you. I'm just asking. Like, if you really had to do it, how much would you? I don't know. Maybe I think we could probably do $300 more. If we could do that, either put it here or just keep it on your mind for what you're going to recommend later. But you say, we could do that. That's obviously it all helps. Now, this addresses maintaining our current lifestyle, which is 12,000, and then planning for having the equivalent of a $9,000 lifestyle in retirement adjusted to inflation. But the third thing that's going to happen to us, no matter what we do, is we eventually are going to die. And so we want to make sure that if we die prematurely, that our family is protected. And for that, we do what's called the dime, just to determine how properly protected we are. And so the reality is that 49% of Americans have insurance, 51% don't. And the ones that have insurance don't have enough. Like, America is grossly underinsured. They have maybe a policy at work, and that's it. Have like 10% of what they need. So we just want to make sure. I just want to make you aware of what your real gap is. So let's talk about that. The acronym here stands for everything debt that is not the mortgage. So how much do you owe in credit cards, auto loans, all these different things? Oh, we owe 150,000. We owe, like, I don't know, make a $60,000. And Mauricio, what is your annual income right now? Your gross income? Well, I make 150,000. Okay. And Lorena, how much do you make? I make $100,000. Could be the other way around. Now, how much do you own a mortgage? You still owe on your mortgage? Yeah, we still own a mortgage. We owe like 273,000. All right. And how many children do you have that you would like to, in the event something happened to you, they would have the means to pay for college? Well, we have 3, right? And then how much life insurance do you have, Mauricio, right now? Through work, all insurance that you have, your coverage. Well, I have 250. And then how about you, Lorena? How much insurance do you have? Well, I have 250. So what you're doing essentially is you are creating the gap. So you're kind of seeing that Mauricio should actually have 1.9 million, but he currently has 250, so we've got a gap of 1.7. Okay. And Lorena needs 1.4, but she's got 250 also, and she needs 1.2. Right? So you say, let's just table it for now. We'll come back later. Make some recommendations. Obviously, you can get right to the recommendations here because you can dive right into all-in-one and protection. You can actually go and close right there and then, but you can also save the client. And once you save the client, you can come back later. You can produce a PDF from that as well. So that you can give them a Morgan Stanley type of experience with that. Just, but you're only addressing the retirement and protection gap in this report. It's a very simple conversation that you're talking about, the gap that they have in protection and the gaps that they have for retirement. So it's very easy to follow PDF. If you don't know how to read the PDF, you can also produce something nicer in the client profile that you're going to love. Because once you save the client and you go to the clients, you're going to have it here, right? RMP gap is tagged. So you can actually produce a meeting slides, which is going to produce a PowerPoint with speaking, like it tells you what to say. So this will help a lot of the people that even after you've done some field trainings with them, and you're like, okay, we did your field training, you're ready to go. You're ready to go to the next one. So you have your gap analysis. So this gap analysis only focuses on the gaps that were identified for retirement. What is the retirement gap? What is the protection gap for him and her? And so, you're only 40% to 42% ready, $4 more. Your speaker notes are down here. So it teaches you what to say. Right. So this used to take me entire nights just trying to put a presentation together that looks nice and that has all the fundamental like there's nothing that does this like this, at least not for free. So you can have the conversation with the client, and then that's how you address what is the high priority. Make sure you get your right term in place. If you want to use max funded IUL for tax-free retirement, you could do that. And then you need, if you want to do a financial need, sort of a deeper financial needs analysis, because you can do, once you cover these two things, I think you have maybe more trust with the client. If you see there's more opportunities, you can quickly go and do a full financial needs analysis if you want to. And that's going to open up a whole bunch of different doors for you. But just this alone, you're helping them properly protect them, setting up the IUL and the amount that they actually need for retirement. And if you set it up, this whole thing, that's $16,000 in revenue for you to helping that client. So again, you have the simple FNA, that's like the easiest, and then you have the simple. The simple dives a little bit deeper. And then this one is the full-blown FNA, the full financial needs analysis that actually guides you through the whole process. Now, the recommendation from me to you would be, if you want to learn how to have this conversation, which is the conversation you have anyway, regardless of which FNA you are doing, the RMP, the FNA simple or the full FNA, is in the Agent Super Skills. And this video, which is 19 minutes, teaches you how to have that conversation. And that is like when you learn that canned presentation, that's when you can really be successful in every meeting. I don't care if it's a new recruit that is going through this, that you are doing an internal consumption with, or if is a somebody that was a referral that's not going to join the company but would like to listen to an opinion you may have to give them about what it is that they have. So wanted to share those two things with you. I think they can become useful to you. And I think that pretty much brings us to the end. We had only 1 hour today, but we have some questions. Let's see if we can address a lot of these, some of these. So I am transcribing this call. That's fine. You can transcribe it. I have connections. How can I protect to them? Please give them. I don't understand the question. So Sam, let me know what you mean by that. HEI Universe. Hi, this is the site licensequest.ai operational. Yeah, if you're having any, try it Friday. Just go back on Friday. It should be fully operational. I just wanted you guys to be aware of it now because that's going to help you get your people licensed fast. Michael says, I also created an account on the license. It goes back to the landing page. Again, just try that on Friday. It's good to get the word out for you guys. You guys are beta testers on it, so thank you for helping us get the feedback. Yeah, the RMD has to continue producing. Well, you can produce more RMDs. I mean, you can. Yeah, the idea is that you are, as Hubert says it, perpetually pregnant, which is you always have a base shop, right? But if you just build a bunch of RMDs and you have 100 RMDs, you got a business, right? You can build RMDs. You can, because when you build direct, you build you building wide, then you have a base shop. You know, Kathy says love the new features in the income calculator. Yeah, I think, it's hopefully it's not overwhelming, Kathy. I get your feedback on it's because when you're telling people like the more you can expand the vision, you're like, wow. Like I remember with Peter, he's had some exits in the past, and for him it was like not instant, just going like the way he was looking at it, like what is this multi-level thing? What is this? You're selling insurance, or what is this? I couldn't, articulate and show him you actually can build a business and maybe sell for a multiple. Right. And so how do you show that? So I think that could be polished a little bit, but it shows you, scientifically, what should the numbers be for you to even have a shot at being able to have somebody like Integrity, look at you to sell a business. In reality, you're not just building this for commissions, right? Like if you wanted commissions, you could go sell insurance at any FMO. Well, why are you recruiting? Yes, because you want overrides, but you also want an exit. So I think, in my opinion, is the bigger, the better, and the clearest we can sell that vision to people. They will stick around. They will go through what they got to do, develop the skills, develop their rise to the leadership required to do that. To say, yes, I put 8, 9, 10 years of this thing, and I was able to, sell for this amount because you have great solid revenue, which is not depends on you having to necessarily be producing all the time. I don't know, Kathy, if you have any comments on that. As you say, yes, this is stuff is amazing. I don't know what you refer exactly by that, but if you are still around, if you want to make a comment, that's fine. Open up the mic. And then we have Cynthia says, wonderful. Thank you. Let me see. This is brilliant. Yes. So guys, I know that it is so much, but just know this one thing. In summary, let me summarize as we close the hour that sometimes the way that I do things, guys, I put myself on the line for us in a way that even in some of these things, because I know I'm in a safe place because I'm with family here, right? Like I know that you can see the effort, and I know that you're going to forgive me if there is a bug, right? That we can immediately address. But it puts a lot of good pressure on me to make sure we get the fastest. So instead of just sort of talking about it, dreaming about it, we do it, we execute. Look at where Abacus started and where it is. And one of the best cheerleaders to that is obviously been Kathy. I don't know if you're still here or not, Kathy, but I do want to hear, because you saw Abacus as just a little dream, just a little concept, and where it is right now. Like, what would you say that the leap of it has been, the growth of it has been in the time?
My gosh, I can't even believe how much has changed, even in 6 months. It's just incredible. And, the tools that we have to be able to do the best job possible as financial professionals is amazing. One of the things I really love is some of the things that Mauricio's created. That tab with the super agent skills for people to learn is so incredible, because I've been in the industry for 22 years. I've been a big recruiter with another company. I've trained a few thousand people. And I'm telling you, the speed at which we can get a brand new person up and running is incredible. Nobody can move at the speed that we can with these tools. And that's what I think I get the most excited about, because what took people like me and Mauricio, who've been in the industry for a long time, a few years to learn, people really can learn in a year or less here, and get to that level of coming across as an expert, because so much of this is done for us. And so, and I also feel like, there's some tools that are in Abacus. I'm such a huge fan of the IUL Finder and the Annuity Finder, and I was actually just telling someone in Phoenix last week when I was there for the Open golf tournament. And I said, for the first time in my career, when I use the IUL or the annuity finder to figure out for that specific client, what's the best company and their best product that will meet the need of that particular client and their scenario. For the first time in 22 years, with 100% confidence, I can go back to them with a recommendation, not with just the thing I know the best, but the thing that's the very best thing for them. And if you're new or you don't know in the industry, a lot of people go back with, not that it's a bad recommendation, it's just the best one they know, because maybe they just use one or two companies or one or two products. But with what we have in Abacus, you know, we can use those tools and make the very best recommendation every single time for a client. And to have that and the peace of mind of knowing if you're somebody who in this business, now, if you're here just to make the biggest commission you possibly can and just to make money, you won't get excited about it. But if you're here to be of service to people and provide people the best possible option for their scenario and still make dang good money, in the highest paying industry there is, it's just a tool that is phenomenal. It's incredible to have that. And so I don't know if I could even pick a favorite of all the tools that we have in zybrzeus and Abacus, but those IUL and annuity finders are right up there at the top for me as a financial professional. On the marketing side, the things we have in zybrzeus are unbelievable. And Mauricio, I did put in the comment the link to, you know, just a couple of the pages that I've created in zybrzeus that I did in like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. And then I did edit them and customize them a little bit just so people could see. A couple of people private messaged me in the chat, you know, asking some tips, but it's just that we've got amazing tools. And I am Mauricio's #1 fan. And I just appreciate, having been in this industry for so long, I appreciate all the things that he's worked so hard to bring to us. It's incredible. So thank you for your servant leadership, Mauricio, and what you created for us.
And I have to give credit, obviously, to Jody, to Hubert, to Steve, to the whole team, to the whole leadership, the whole company, for trusting and understanding that we could bring, coming from the field, that being in the business for 25 years, right? We have to find this sweet spot where we know the uniqueness of HGI, which is recruiting, is building a business, but also product needs to be sold. And it needs to be sold in the best way for people to obviously really serve, people at the highest level, continue to have the highest persistencies, and help people put them in the right product from day one. And so I'm ready to announce, obviously, that there's two major breakthroughs that we're going to see very, very soon. One is real injection of real data from all carriers. I've having some conversations with some of the carriers. They're impressed what we've done in terms of how we rank and the formula, the algorithm, and the way it was built to rank based on the client's scenario, what products show up there. You still are the agent. You still have the driver's seat. But if you're like wondering, man, I need a product that allows for conversions that is more for leaving benefit than it is for, you know, or that it's a what do we call it, legacy type of plan. The client's not going to really need the money, but they want to leave, you know, have a product that has great bonuses and great accumulation, but it also becomes a debt benefit to the children if they, you know, take it over a period of time. It's not going to show you just one company, but all the companies that have that and which one has the best build. But in addition to that, being able to really look at what is every single spread, roll-up fee, current rate, like have the real feed from the company, like the real feed, because right now is about 90% to where I want it. But once we get the real feed from it, then you'll be like 100% accurate to see, well, this company will produce X amount of income. Like I need to solve for $6,000 worth of income, which of all the annuities can produce that based on the bonuses and the growth rate and the base payout, you know, on the life, either whether it's a single life or joint life. That's the piece that we are going to add as well, both on the IUL side and the annuity side. I think that is going to make this. People are paying $400 a month just for that, not all the other stuff that we have. So just imagine the power of that. So yeah, but anyways, just hang in there, and we will very soon be as solid with the rest of the tools as Abacus is becoming very solid. And again, I don't think you have to be like extremely overwhelmed. Just learn sort of one move at a time, and you will grow every time. Swati, yes. Well, it's I think what I got deviated in my message in the beginning because I get too excited sometimes, but it's that the knowing what pain or challenges you go through as an agent, as a financial professional, as a recruiter, as a leader, and if we, figure out a way to truly leverage the technology without it becoming a distraction, and I think that's exactly what we're figuring out. I do know that for many people are selling a higher amount of premiums, more annuities, more term, more everything using the FNA. So as that continues to be adopted throughout your teams will sell more, sell better, and the benefit of that is more retention, more recruiting, more building of an agency, bigger value, bigger exit, et cetera, et cetera. It's a snowball effect on this. But anyways, I really got to run, guys. I do appreciate your time. Kathy, thank you for those comments. Won't let you down. Won't let you down. I won't let you down. We'll continue to work. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Take care. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
you.